ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone for this Purushottama Yoga series. I congratulate all the children and also the adults for having completed the first 15 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga. And this is the last week. In the last 3 weeks, we completed 15 shlokas of this chapter. This is the last week, and we will be discussing the last 5 shlokas of this chapter. This last section is very exciting and important and easy to understand also. If you remember, in the 15th shloka, Krishna said, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo. By studying all the Vedas, I am to be known, Krishna said. Means the purpose of studying all the Vedas is to know Krishna, is to reach Krishna. So Krishna revealed that in the previous shloka, 15th shloka. Now from the 16th shloka, Krishna gives a summary of all the Vedas. And the speciality of this last section is, in this section, Krishna addresses himself as Purushottama. The title of this chapter is Purushottama Yoga, right? So where is this word Purushottama coming in this entire chapter? You will see in this last section. This week we are going to discuss this, right? Purusha Uttama means the best of all people. Uttama Purusha means the supreme person, that is Krishna. And Krishna reveals about himself very compassionately. He speaks about himself and establishes himself as Purushottama in this last section. So far in this chapter, in the first 6 shlokas, we have seen Krishna giving a description of material world and the spiritual world. Now, later in the 5 shlokas, he spoke about the transmigration of the soul. In the next 4 shlokas, Krishna spoke that he is the maintainer of this entire universe and also he is the maintainer of individual living beings. On a cosmic level and an individual level, Krishna is our maintainer. So 6 plus 5 plus 4, total 15 shlokas we covered. Now 5 more are remaining. So the 16th shloka, from 16th shloka, Krishna gives a condensed summary of all the Vedas, as I said. And in the 16th shloka, Krishna talks about two kinds of living entities, two kinds of living beings. Now, if you remember, in the first shloka, Krishna spoke that there is this material world and above that there is spiritual world. He compared the spiritual world with a original tree and the material world is compared to a reflection tree. The reflection of the spiritual world is the material world. Now in the 16th shloka, Krishna talks about two types of living entities. Who are they in short? Those living entities who stay in the spiritual world and those living beings who stay in the material world. It's like two kinds of realms are there, spiritual realm and the material realm. Two kinds of living beings are there. Those who are in the spiritual world, they are like liberated souls, and those who are in the material world, they are the conditioned souls. So he talks about these two types of people in this shloka. In the next shloka, Krishna speaks. Okay, I'll not speak now. Suspense. We will do it tomorrow. Mm. Let's recite this 16th shloka now. Krishna says, Dvau imau purushau loke kshara eva cha ksharah sarvani bhutani kutastho kshara uchyate. Once again, Dvavimau purushau loke kshara eva cha ksharah sarvani bhutani kutastho kshara uchyate. Let's see the meaning. As we discussed before, this shloka is talking about two types of living beings. And Krishna says, Dvav imau purushau loke. Purusho refers to living beings, right? Uh, in this world, in this entire existence, Dvav means two. There are two classes of living entities, living beings. Who are they? Number one, kshara. Number two, akshara. Ksharascha akshara evacha. So these two classes of living beings are kshara, means fallible living entities, and second is akshara, infallible living entities. What does it mean, fallible and infallible? Basically, in the seventh shloka, Krishna already described who is the living entity, what is the nature, what is the tattva of any living being. Every living being is a part of Krishna. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. As we are progressing in the shlokas, we need to remember what Krishna taught in the previous shlokas also. All these are connected. I already gave a connection between the first section and this section, and 15th shloka and this 16th shloka. Now let's talk about a connection between the 7th shloka and this section. In the 7th shloka, Krishna said, Mama ivamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha. All the jivas are his amshas. All the jivas are his parts, fragmental parts, right? Qualitatively, they are one with the Lord, but quantitatively, they are different from the Lord. We know all this, right? Now, Krishna is talking about two kinds of living entities, kshara and akshara. Mm. So, kshara means the living beings who have a tendency to get distracted from their original spiritual nature. But akshara means they never get distracted from their original spiritual nature. In our original pure spiritual consciousness, we love Krishna more than anyone else. And we understand that Krishna loves me more than anyone else. So no one can love me as much as Krishna loves me. We understand that in our pure consciousness. And in an impure state of consciousness, we think that people in this world love me more, or we develop so much love for the things and people and objects in this world and we ignore Krishna. So those people who have a tendency to deviate from their loving relationship with Krishna, they are called kshara. They are distracted from their bhakti. They are distracted from their own eternal spiritual innate nature of being lovers of Krishna. Such people are called kshara. And akshara means they never get distracted. They're always fixed up in their original constitutional spiritual position as servants of Krishna, as lovers of Krishna. Right? So, where do they stay? In the material world, kshara people stay. And akshara category of living entities, they stay in the spiritual world. So those who are living in the spiritual world are infallible or akshara, and those who are living in the material world are kshara or fallible. That's what Krishna says in the second half. Ksharaha sarvani bhutani. All the living entities. Sarvani means all. Bhutani means living entities. All the living entities in this material world are kshara, fallible. And kotasto akshara uchyate. All the living beings in the spiritual world are akshara, means they are infallible. So, in short, the shloka is speaking about two categories of living entities. One is kshara, second is akshara. Kshara means fallible people, akshara means infallible people. In other words, kshara refers to conditioned souls in this material world who are distracted from their own spiritual position, and akshara refers to liberated souls in the spiritual world who are rooted in their original spiritual eternal constitutional position as servants of the Supreme Lord. Clear? Mm. Now, let's go a little deep into this shloka. The meaning is, I hope the meaning is clear. Kshara and Akshara. So, this material world has people who are fallible. What does it mean? In the material world, people identify themselves with body made of matter, right? So, body is made of matter, and many people here, or most of the people in this material world, they think that they're bodies, or they think that they're minds. They identify themselves with body. They think they're beautiful. Why? Because maybe they have beautiful bodily complexion. Their eyes are beautiful, or their hands are beautiful, their oral structure is beautiful, they're very handsome. They identify themselves with body. Or some people identify themselves with mind. Some people identify themselves with their power, their position, their influence, their status, their designation in this world. So that bodily conception is the nature of people in this world. And but we are not these bodies. We are not those designations in this world. We are not those powers or position, or we we don't possess that material wealth. It's a wrong identity. You remember in one of our sessions I said, when a fish is taken out of water and kept on a big throne in a big palace with so many servants, fish is not happy. So similarly, when a spiritual being is staying in the material world, uh, the spiritual soul does not become happy, right? So bodies are made of matter, and bodies constantly change from childhood to adulthood to old age, and we have birth, old age, disease, and death in this material world. And the body also undergoes six kinds of transformation: uh, birth, growth, maintenance, reproduction, means producing more living beings, children, then dwindling, and death. These are the six changes that the body undergoes. And living entities are controlled by material nature. Prakriti controls them, the modes control them, and the life is full of temporary pleasures and pains in this world, full of suffering. And at the end of the life, the soul leaves one body and enters another body. That's the condition of the conditioned souls living in the material world, and they are technically called kshara, fallible living entities. According to this shloka of Bhagavad Gita, they are kshara. Now, in contrast to these kshara living beings who are undergoing so many difficulties in this world, we discussed it. You remember? In the 15th chapter, shloka number 7 to 11, in these five shlokas, Krishna talks about the transmigration of the souls. And he's talking about the kshara people only. So, in those five shlokas, Krishna spoke about the kshara category of people. Now, let's talk about akshara. Akshara means infallible, means they never get distracted from their original spiritual position. They're the liberated souls. Their bodies are spiritual, they're eternal, they're effulgent. In the spiritual world, the people living, they have no birth, there's no death, there is no old age, there is no disease. They're eternally youthful, vibrant, uh, and life is full of bliss there. Satchidananda bodies, they have Satchidananda bodies, they experience Ananda. They are freed from material nature. In the spiritual world, there is no sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun. In the spiritual world, there are no adhyatmika adi, bhautika adi, daivika kleshas. In the spiritual world, there is no birth, death, old age, and disease. In this material world, the soul enters a body that is called birth. And when the soul leaves the body, that is death. But in the spiritual world, those people who are staying there, they're eternally living in the same bodies. Don't think that, oh, eternally living in the same bodies, that means they become old. No, there is no death to that body, there is no birth to that body, there is no old age to that body, there is no disease also. Mhm. And in the spiritual world, people are having pure consciousness. They're fully Krishna conscious. Mhm. Their awareness is always fixed on Krishna. They're purely dedicated to Krishna. Uh, Now, in this material world, consciousness is impure. People have envy, pride, greed, lust, material desires. They want to cheat people. They want to exploit people. They take advantage of innocent people and mm, live on the cost of innocent people, right? But in the spiritual world, everybody is pure. Nobody has any propensity to cheat anyone or exploit anyone. Everyone loves Krishna there, and Krishna loves everyone there. And what exists in the spiritual world is simple, pure love between the Lord and the living beings. They are akshara living beings, and people here are kshara living beings. Okay, it sounds little scary. Oh, we are living in this world in with the akshara nature. Yes, correct. Right from Brahma all the way to small insects and plants, all kinds of living entities. You see, Brahma lives in the eternal Brahmaloka. Not eternal, it's also material planet only. Sorry for that. So he lives in Satyaloka, which is the topmost planetary system in this world. And below that, there are so many other planetary systems. Now we are in the Bhumandala, Bhuloka, and above that Bhuvarloka, then Svargaloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the topmost planet where Brahma stays. Right from Brahmaloka, right from Brahma all the way to an insect or an ant in this material world, in this earthly planet, or below the earthly planet, there are seven lower planets also: Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala. So in those uh, lower planets, there are other living entities. So right from Brahma, who is the topmost living being in the material world, up to an insignificant ant or an insect, everybody is subjected to birth, death, old age, and disease. They're all kshara. Kshara means fallible living entities. They are they can experience death and birth and old age and disease. Right? All of them are in the fallible category. Even devatas also, by the way. Don't think that one who enters Svargaloka is infallible. What to speak of Svargaloka? Brahmaloka is 4 floors above Svargaloka. 4 lokas above Svargaloka. Still, even Brahma also is a living entity. He is fallible. Of course, when somebody does bhakti, they enter the akshara realm. From this akshara realm, we'll come to that very soon. But point is that every living entity in this material world is fallible. Now, in the spiritual world, there are eternally liberated beings like Gopas and Gopis and Krishna's parents Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata. And there are other lokas also. See, spiritual world is not just only Goloka planet. In the Goloka planet, the Supreme Lord stays as a cowhead boy, Krishna, playing his flute in Vrindavan. But in the spiritual world, there are other realms like Dwaraka, where the Supreme Lord stays as a very royal, regal prince. Here he is a prince, Krishna. And here he is a cowhead boy, right? And in Ayodhya, Krishna is like a very sober and gentle, dignified form as Lord Ramachandra. And in Vaikuntha, which is also part of spiritual world, Lord stays as Vishnu, Narayana. So the same Lord, God is one. Ultimately, God is one, and that one God manifests himself in a very, very majestic form as Narayana or Vishnu in Vaikuntha. He manifests himself as a very sober king, that is Lord Ramachandra. He manifests himself as a very royal, regal prince in Dwaraka. He manifests himself as a simple cowhead boy in Vrindavan. So, this is all the spiritual world. And the Lord in all these forms, and by the way, not only these 4 realms, there is Narasimha Loka, where the Lord manifests himself as Narasimha, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, Narasimha, all these forms of the Lord, avatars of the Lord, they have their own spiritual planets and they have their own devotees who are lovingly serving them, and they're all Akshara people. But in this existence, there is material realm also, which is 1/4 approximately. It's 1/4, and this is 3/4. So 3/4 of the existence is spiritual world filled with Akshara, Akshara living entities. 1/4 of this existence is a material world, which is filled with Kshara, fallible living entities. So we are here, stuck here. But good news is we can go from here to here. Don't worry. Whichever want, whichever planet you want, you can go. If somebody has a mood to serve the Lord in a very majestic manner, they can go to Vaikuntha and serve. If somebody likes to serve the Lord in a very sober form as Lord Ramachandra, they can go to Ram's planet also. If someone has a mood to serve the Lord in Vrindavan, they can go to Vrindavan also. So Krishna is not teaching this information to all of us just for the sake of it. He wants us to understand we are trapped in this world. We are trapped in the material world and we can go to the spiritual world also. Hmm. That is Krishna's plan behind giving all these teachings. It's not just for information. We are in the material world. This is like material world. For example, a bird is entrapped in a cage in bondage. But when you open the door of this cage, the bird happily flies in the sky. So compare that sky full of freedom with the spiritual world. Compare this cage, which is a restriction, has less space. That is the material world. We are also like that. We are entrapped in the material world, but we can go to the spiritual realm by taking shelter of the Supreme Lord Krishna, by performing bhakti yoga, right? And one more important information Prabhupada writes in the purport. He says that we have seen 2 realms, material world and spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, there are akshara living beings. In the material world, there are kshara living beings. But you can be like a liberated soul even while living in the material world also. Prabhupada writes. Let's read this statement by Prabhupada. Anyone who, by his actions, mind, and words, lives only for the transcendental loving service of the Lord he is certainly a liberated soul, even though he may be in this material world, in this material existence. So, karmana manasagira jivan muktaha sauchyate. So, while living in the material world, if someone worships Krishna and performs bhakti, although he is in the material world, he is as good as akshara living entity. Although all the people in the material world are kshara, those who practice bhakti can act like akshara. They are like liberated souls. They are like jivan mukta. While living in the world, they are mukta, liberated. Means they are unaffected by the death, birth, old age, and disease here. They are unaffected by the threefold material miseries here. They remain transcendental, right? They are very exalted devotees while living in this material world. Next. Yeah, we will come to the next sloka in the next class. Basically, in this sloka, Krishna gave us information about two types of living entities, kshara and akshara, fallible and fallible living entities. Beyond these two categories of living entities, there is another person, the supreme person. Who is that? That's the subject matter of the next sloka. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.